What's up, guys? Welcome to my 2024 Cry Wrapped, where I logged every single time I cried last year. So in 2024, I cried a total of 56 times, which honestly, I thought it was going to be more than that, so I really don't think that's that bad. So I broke down my cries in different categories. So we had tear ups, which is where you were just tearing up. You maybe one tear, fell, but for the most part, you held it together. A small cry, which is, a few tears fell, nothing really major. You're not making any noises. It's just, it's more than a tear up because tears are falling, but still not a super big deal. Then you have a medium cry, which is, a cry that it took a little bit of a toll, but, I was able to eventually pull myself together and get through it. And then a big cry, which is like, hysterical, crying for, 10 minutes or more and could cause more than one cry total over a period of time. So this year I had 22 tear ups, not bad, which that was the majority, so we love that. 21 small cries, so again, small cries not a super big deal. That was close second. 13 medium cries, and then 0 big cries. So we love that for me. Didn't have any major meltdowns this year. And we started and ended the year off strong. Of course, I, had to cry the first and last day of the year because why not? That just makes sense, right? For the monthly breakdown, other than April, it was pretty evenly distributed between the months. April, we had that high peak, and then June, I actually had 0 cries. So that's pretty awesome. June was a good month, apparently. But why was there such a peak in April? Well, because we got married. And so a lot of those cries were very happy, good cries. Let's just pause for a second to appreciate some of my favorite cries from the wedding. We both have very emotional families. And so everybody was crying basically the whole entire time. And I loved it. So for the breakdown of severity, again, we saw earlier, it's pretty evenly distributed between the tear up small cries and medium cries. Pretty distributed between the months too, nothing super crazy. April, definitely more small cries, and I think most of those were from the wedding day, just having, a bunch of smaller cries. I had a total of 7 cries that day, so yeah, that was a big day. Other than that, nothing super crazy to report here. So why? Why was I crying? So I broke it down between happy cries and sad cries. And again, pretty evenly distributed. I honestly thought I was going to have more happy cries than sad cries. That's kind of why I did this whole thing. Because I knew I cried a lot, but I thought that I cried more for happy reasons than sad reasons. So this kind of proved that my hypothesis was wrong, and it's pretty even distribution there. My top triggers, coming in at number 1, we have Connor with 24 times that Connor made me cry. For those who know him, you're probably thinking, Connor's the sweetest, most amazing man. How could he ever make you cry? Honestly, you'll see on the next slide, but he is the most amazing, sweetest, best boy in the whole entire world. And I'm definitely the problem. Next, we had family, followed by stress, friends, TikTok, TV and YouTube, and then pretty proud of it, work only made me cry once because I don't let work get to me. Absolutely not, no sir. All right, so for our breakdown, as you can see, Connor did make me cry a lot, but the majority of those reasons were happy things. And honestly, out of those 10 sad reasons, I'm definitely the problem in this. 3 of those instances were because he simply didn't want to go on a walk with me. And apparently I was very emotional those days because I really wanted to go on a walk with him. So he is, again, the most amazing person, really not making me cry for sad reasons other than I might be super over emotional half the time. Then with family, I had a lot of good happy cries because I love my family and I appreciate them so much. I'm just so proud of my sister and just like so happy and feel so blessed that I have such an amazing family. Obviously, stressful reasons are never going to be happy cries, so those were all sad. Friends were 50-50, happy and sad. And TikTok, I was actually, number one, surprised I didn't have more cries from TikTok because I feel like I used to cry from stupid little TikTok clips all the time. But more were happy tears than sad tears. And I believe most of TikTok are just like tear ups. I'm not actually like crying, I guess, from TikTok. And then sad from TV/YouTube and sad from that one work time. So overall, not bad. This is just kind of like a interesting slide I added. It really doesn't mean much since I work third shift. I'm up at all different times of the day, depending on if I'm working or not. But I just thought it would be interesting to kind of see the distribution of the time of day that I cry. And again, pretty evenly distributed between morning, afternoon, and nighttime. So I just wanted to include some of my favorite entries, the ones that make me smile the most. So from January 1st last year, my very first entry, I cried because of how much I love Connor. Because he was feeding me Cheerios with a spoon, and I thought about how he's going to do that for our kids one day. And because he's just the sweetest, most gentle and patient person, and I was being so annoying, and he was eating Cheerios, and I was demanding that he give me some. And he just simply was just so sweet and feeding me Cheerios, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's the most patient, perfect man. And I just know that he's going to be such a good dad. So I can't wait for that day to come. Another one, on February 23rd, I had COVID. And when I get sick, I do this really annoying thing where I just complain that I'm sick. I'll say, oh, I'm sick. I'll sniffle once and I'll be like, oh, I'm sick. So I had COVID and I was sick, and Connor was laughing at me because I kept saying how terrible I felt. But I had COVID, so I did not see the humor in this at the time, and it was making me very sad, so I cried. Another one was September 23rd. Connor was watching this super cringy Good Mythical Morning video. I had never watched a Good Mythical Morning video ever in my life before this, and it made me so genuinely upset to witness that. And I will never watch a Good Mythical Morning YouTube video ever again in my entire life. It ruined it. I'm sorry. And then another funny one, on October 13th, we had gone to Bob Evans one morning, and we got there kind of late, and so I was already hungry because if you know me, I need to eat as soon as I wake up in the morning. I just have to. That's how it is. I'm instantly hungry when I wake up. So it was already late. We had to drive to Bob Evans, and then it was taking forever. Our food took so long, and I was just sitting there starving, frustrated, and I literally started tearing up because I was so mad that our food was taking so long. And then to top it off, the lady brings out my hash browns, my side of hash browns, and it's about this big. And I looked at her before she even set that plate down on the table. I said, I'm going to need another order of hash browns because how dare you, I didn't say this, but how dare you think that I'm only going to eat this many hash browns, and then you're going to charge me $3.99 for that. Absolutely not. So therefore, I will never be going back to Bob Evans ever again. So I will be doing this again next year, or this year, I guess. So my predictions for 2025. I think I'm going to have more cries overall this year. And I do think that I will have more happy than sad again. It might be close just because I feel like there are some stressful things happening coming up. But overall, I do think that I'm going to have more happy cries than sad cries. And I do think that the winter and early spring months will be the peak of the cries, just with all the changes and things coming up. I just think that the stress will probably get to me in these winter months, and the majority of my sad cries will happen at that time. So thank you guys for watching my 2024 Cry Wrapped. I will see you all next year. Peace.